Hello and welcome. In this video I'm sharing my experience of an investment banking interview in the sales and trading department roughly 4 years ago while I was studying. As I know some of you are interested to get into this or related field, I thought sharing my experience will be useful. We are going over the interview questions and solutions, and I'm passing you some advice in the end. So let's take a look at what I was asked. It basically was a mixture of option trading related questions, a brain teaser, and some VBA question which I will not cover in this video. Simply not that important. First question was, explain a rattle. So of course you're invited to pause the video if you want to try it on your own. So what's a rattle? It's an option strategy which benefits from increasing volatility independent from the direction of the price movement. So how do you build that strategy? By buying a call and put option with the same strike price and same expiration date. By the way, K is the common symbol for strike price. So the result or outcome is, if the stock price is close to the strike price at expiration, the straddle will lose. If the movement of the stock price is large enough, you will profit. So let's take a look at that more detailed. So what you're seeing here is the option payoff diagram. So K is the strike price and V is the price of both options. And as you see, if the stock price on expiration is at the strike, you are losing V. If the stock price declines, so it's moving away from K in this direction, and the move is large enough, so above the zero line, you're winning. Same for the other direction. If the stock price is rising, so it's moving away from K in this direction, and the move is large enough, you're winning as well. Question for those who want to test their knowledge. I will pin the right comment, or if no one solves, I will comment the solution myself. Why does this line end here? And why does this line go into infinity? Let me know what you think below. Next one. Do you know about the Greeks? Explain them. In a nutshell, Greeks are risk measures which provide information on the extent to which an option price changes when certain influencing factors change. So let's go over the most important ones, which were the ones they wanted to hear. First, the delta, which is simply the change in price of the option when the underlying is changing by $1. Second, theta, which is the time sensitivity of the option. So it is the amount an option price changes every day passing until expiration. Then we got the gamma, which is the amount of the changing delta given a $1 underlying change. Vega is the volatility sensitivity. So that is the change of the option value when a 1% change in implied volatility of the underlying is happening. And lastly, we got the rho, which is the interest rate change sensitivity. So I recommend to go over the Greeks, e.g. on this link again. There you also have some examples. Last but not least, the brain teaser. By the way, I read this question was also asked in a Google interview, so definitely try it out before checking the solution. So imagine a non-painted Rubik's Cube which is dropped into a bucket of paint. How many units remain non-painted? Pause the video now if you want to solve it on your own. Answer is exactly 1. Why is that? Look at this cube. So the only element which won't be touched by the color is the one element in the mid of this cube. So you don't see it here. But it is this one unit, so here, in the mid of this cube. That is the unit which won't be touched. Everything else will be hit by the color. And that's already the answer. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the inner view of this cube, but I will link a resource showing that so that you fully understand what I'm talking about. The second question is way harder. So let's take a look at that. We need to extend the cube to a side length of 10. So the side length of this cube is 3. And then we should repeat the above question. Pause the video now, otherwise I will guide you to solve this. Now let's take a look at a 3-sided cube and a 4-sided cube, just to understand how the inner of this cube is developing when you add a 1 to the side length, right? Now try to imagine the inner of this 4-sided cube. So this, and then just think into the inner of that. The inner will be a 2 times 2 times 2 cube, right? So that is a 2 times 2 times 2 cube in the mid of this cube. So the answer would be 8 units, simply 2 times 2 times 2. Now, what is happening when we are adding new side lengths here, or just adding a 1 to the side length? Imagine it here, just imagine it in your head. What always will be the same is that we don't consider the outer layers here. So this one and this one in the 4 times 4 times 4 case. But if you have another one here, you would only consider this, and then you won't consider the outer side, right? And then you would get the inner of this. So to formalize, so if we would ignore the 2 outer layers here, we can formalize that. So to formalize that, we can say n, where n is the side length of the cube, is some number. We are subtracting, get a number, and then take the cube of that number. Makes sense, right? If it doesn't, we will do it once again for the 4 times 4 times 4 cube. So we have 4 minus 2, end up with a 2, and then we are cubing or taking 2 to the power of 3. So we're going to 2 times 2 times 2, 8. Let's do it for the 3-sided cube. We have 3 minus 2 is 1, and 1 to the power of 3 is still 1, right? So works and makes sense here, right? So for 10, same. 10 minus 2, 8. 8 to the power of 3 is 512. And yes, I have typed that into a calculator beforehand, but I had to do it in my head in the interview, I remember. So let me know if you solved it yourself. Yeah, some final remarks. So if you don't know an answer to a question, that's no problem, but you should show interest in learning about it. You can try an alternative way to find the solution, but don't act like you know if you don't, right? So that's just not professional, and you should avoid it at all costs. In general, it's insanely hard to get an interview in investment banking. If you get one, be prepared. So I was sending out a ton of applications before getting like 2 interviews, and I messed up on 1. So this is the next point. If you mess up, try again and keep applying. But I actually passed this one, just if you're interested. And yeah, that's already it for this video. I hope this was interesting and in the best case helpful. And I'm looking forward to your comments. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm also looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Bye bye.